Hi, everybody. It is Friday, October 2nd, and we're working on some problems of the Confederation years, that first 8 years after the American Revolution, where we have our independence, but our Articles of Confederation is just too weak to solve the country's problems. And today, part of the lesson is about Shays' Rebellion, which is, for many people, the last straw to prove that we have got to have a better government. So today, right now, you are watching today's intro video, first step in our workflow for today. You can read a section of our textbook about Shays' Rebellion that takes place in Massachusetts, where a group of farmers from Western Massachusetts get really mad at the Eastern Massachusetts government, who they don't think is taking very good care of them. And they're right. That Eastern government is intentionally ignoring these farmers, causing them all kinds of problems. You're going to watch an Ed Puzzle video about that. And that video uses some big words, like the word elite. And elite is a powerful group of people that influences the government. So make sure when you hear that word elite, you understand powerful group influencing the government to do what it does. Generally, the wealthy have access or have elite status, and poor people, like in Shays' Rebellion, don't. You'll answer today's LEQ. Again, you always make sure you're, making your answer prove to me that you have learned something from today's lesson, not cutting and pasting from someone's website. Activity number 5, we're going to go back to trade book a little bit. Contribute to a Clarkey conversation about housing. I'll open this up here so you can see what we're talking about. As we're reading our trade books, by the way, you can come to the school office and pick your Fever 1793 up, or you can, of course, listen to the read alouds or go to the library and get one. But you want to make sure you get on that soon. So we're reading our trade book, Fever 1793. And I'd like you to use your favorite search engine to find a picture of a house built in America. Make sure it's in America, not Asia, Europe, Africa, wherever, between 1750 and 1820. You're going to post that picture into this discussion thread. You'll tell me where that house is located, and the state name is good enough. In at least 15 words, describe the house. For example, 1 or 2 stories. What's it look like it might be made out of? How many windows? How many doors? Big house, small house? You don't need to hurt yourself. You don't need to think too hard. Just describe. What do you see? Use your powers of observation. What do you see with your eyes? What does that look like to you? And then, you're going to go back to do this 4th thing. After a few people have posted their pictures, you're going to come back and I think you'll be able to click on like. Say, oh, which one of those houses looks like be the place you would want to live? So that's what we're doing. Now, here's an example I've done just to show you what I'm talking about. So I took this picture. This is actually a 1680s house, which doesn't fit into the time frame that I'm asking you to do. I didn't want to use up a good example. And plus, this house is pretty famous. This one's located in Boston, Massachusetts. It's Paul Revere's house. So this year, that house is actually 440 years old. Built in 1680, and now we're in 2020. So 480 years old, although lots of parts of it have been replaced in that time. It's not all original still. And this house, it looks like it's made of wood. And I say it looks like it's made of wood because it's not brick, it's not stone, it's not metal. Wood's about our only other option. 2 stories high. Maybe you can see a downstairs and an upstairs. There's a door and some windows that are covered by shutters on the first floor. There are windows on the second floor. And that's way more than 15 words, just that little description. So just give me a little description of what that looks like to you. Now, the point is, all of us live in the place we live for a reason. Earlier in the semester, I had you tell me about why you live in the house you live in. And a lot of you put a picture of your house together for me. And the idea is where that was a beginning step in preparing to do our culture of our trade book. So a little bit of housing culture today. Now, let me remind you just a bit about trade book quick. After you've done that, you might want to get a chance to read your trade book a little bit. Let me go back to the beginning of our Canvas page. There we go. Oops, not that far back. Let me go here and just remind you that we are working on Fever 1793. This is in the class resources for everyone all semester part of our Canvas page. And you go into Fever 1793. You can, if you don't have that book, you can do a read aloud on YouTube. You open that up, and it has all the read alouds, and also quizzes from the chapters as you listen or read. And the quizzes are pretty easy if you are actually reading the book. We'll get to housing culture and some of the other things later and explain more about them at that point. All right, so that's our job for today. A little bit of Shays Rebellion, a little bit of housing culture. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.